I've been feeling like we're in a bubble that can explode at any moment. Do I hold on for dear life, or do I just flow with the waves? The uncertain and devastating waves. Stay creating is the only way I know how to survive. In this limited series, I asked 3 questions to creators from various disciplines. The main question being, why is art so important, especially during a time of crisis? Coming up next is Jarrett New, YouTube creator specializing in all things vinyl. In this episode, we talk about routines and how good art makes you forget you're looking at art. Let's get into it.
Well, the way I'm staying creative during this is basically trying to focus on the things that I have control over and not the things that I don't have control over. So if all we do is obsess about what's going on in the world right now and how crazy everything outside your house or apartment is, it'll tend to overwhelm you if you dwell on all that negative stuff. So it's better to just focus on what's happening right in front of you. So the time that you wake up and making coffee in the morning and your routine, that will keep you sane during this time, and focusing on your art and focusing on what you're going to create today instead of just constantly watching the news and being afraid. It's good to be prepared but not be paranoid.
I think that's as a creator, that's the most powerful thing that I found about what we do, is that we're already used to problem solving. That's all filmmaking is. It's
right.
100,000 things are gonna go wrong.
It's
such a crisis management, sense of urgency. It already has all these elements and components to the nature of it that, yeah, it's really interesting how me being a filmmaker has impacted and translated so much across my entire life.
Oh, definitely.
So it's just really
to troubleshoot problems, and especially dealing with tech stuff. There's always some sort of problem that goes wrong. The camera's battery dies, or something's out of focus, or whatever. Just like you were saying, all those problems.
Yeah.
So you get used to being in that mindset of constantly solving problems, and that helps you in other ways.
It's man, life is gonna happen, and it's how you deal with it, right? And I know that sounds so cheesy and cliche and everything, but it's just so true, man. We do have the power of how we react to things, and that's just the most important, for sure. Dope.
Yeah, you can't predict what's going to happen to you, what kind of problems are going to beset you, but you have control over how you react to them. It's a good point.
100%. I mean, it's the only thing we can do, and I think that's proving even more true today in what we're living in, where it's you can choose to sit there and dwell and think about all the things you can't do, or you can be okay, well, this is my 4 walls, this is my phone, this is what I have, what
it's all about your mindset.
What can I do, and not just to pass the time, but to leave something behind. Anything that you create as a creator during this time is historic. Think about it.
It's a timestamp of history.
It's a timestamp of the time. So
I survived the pandemic of 2020.
And these are the things that came out of the pandemic from your creations. I mean, that just gave me goosebumps because it's so true. It to me is inspiring more than anything, and not to downplay what's happening in the world or anything like that, but the reality is that this is my world. And in my world, I'm not experiencing death. I'm not experiencing fear,
Exactly.
And I thought that's pretty cool about the whole thing.
It really is. Yeah, focusing on what you have control over. It's all about your mindset.
Yeah.
I believe, strongly in the power of positive mental attitude.
Yeah.
So you can watch the news and be stressed out constantly, or you can say, well, I've got my camera, my phone, and I'm going to create some cool stuff today.
Exactly.
It's all about you. It's an escape, ultimately. So the world outside might be ugly and full of scary things, but with art, we can create something beautiful, something new, a whole different world that's safe, and that's fun, and that's exciting. Whenever I watch a really good movie, I step into the shoes of whatever character I'm watching. And you're kind of seeing the events play out through their eyes. And you forget that you're watching a movie. whenever I was going to film school, they called this the illusion of disbelief. So you step into another person's shoes and you feel like you're them and they're you, and you're experiencing everything through their eyes. And that's what art can do. Really good art makes you forget that you're looking at art, or forget that you're listening to art.
Wow.
To a really good song. So yeah.
That's an intro line right there. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna start this entire thing with that quote. I mean, that was beautiful because it's true. So that's what, as an artist, you're constantly battling. You're constantly battling the value of what you do and put out there for the world, especially in a time of crisis,
right,
given the level of where you are in your craft, which is freaking wild to me.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, art is it's beautiful. It's a beautiful new type of world that you can create, whether you're painting or you're filming something or you're writing a script. It's happening up in your mind, and it's happening with your imagination, and it's usually more beautiful and more poetic and more meaningful than what's happening outside.
100.
So focusing on that, like I said, focusing on that and creating more of that, and not what you can't control, which is everything outside your house, is a better way to look at the whole situation. Because if all you think about when you're in quarantine and stuck at home is, oh, I can't wait to go to another restaurant, or I can't wait to hang out with my friends, this is going to be a long quarantine for you. So you got to focus on the positive. Look, I've got the internet. I've got Netflix streaming. I've got my computer. I can write and create so many cool things from home that would not have been true, 100 years ago. So
yeah,
take advantage of it.
That would have been a way different experience for sure. 100%. All right. And so the very last question to kind of sum it up is, what is the thing, quote, mantra, exercise, activity? What's the thing that resonates with you most at this time?
The mantra that resonates with me most right now is one step at a time. Because basically, that's all that matters, is just seeing the very next step in front of you. If you tend to think 100 steps in front of you, yet again, it's like watching the news, it's going to overwhelm you. If you think about all the stuff you have to do today, or all the stuff you didn't get done yesterday, it's going to just drive you crazy. So just focus on the very next step. Wake up, take a shower, make coffee, just simple steps. And then before you know it, you've accomplished so much because you only thought of the very next step. So one step at a time is very important, or else you'll overwhelm yourself. I have a tendency to do that because I'm a perfectionist. I tend to think of a laundry list of things I have to do, and then I get disappointed if I only accomplish maybe a third of them. But don't think that way. You can write it all down, but just put it away and just think of, okay, what's the next one? Okay, and then put it back away. So one step at a time, very important for your mindset.
Awesome. That was so good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. The world is going through an incredibly difficult time right now. But as the quote says, where there is life, there is hope. Stay creating.